Hello and welcome back. Welcome back to our channel, Redirecting. Now I'm about to go very, very deep on this particular subject. I'm going to get the mic close, make sure that nothing is missed here. I want to say up front before we get too far into this video that anyone who has children around, that you do not want to hear very sensitive information. Very shocking information. You might want to get them out of the room. This is not for children, okay? Although in some households, children are much more aware of certain things than parents are. Of course, I am speaking to parents who have structure and order in their households and do not like to expose their children to rough and tumble information at an early age. Sorry for that noise in the background. My computer just finished up a document. But anyway, I wanted to let you know up front, get the children out of the room. This is not a conversation to be had in front of children, okay? Of course, I'm not going to go too nuts on this. I'm just going to keep it real here, though. Certain things do have to be censored for certain ears. But when you're trying to get a message across, it's best to just explain up front that you're going to be talking about something that may make some of you uncomfortable for your children to hear. There are certain things that we don't like to say in front of our children, but we definitely keep it real in regards to what is going on in the world. Now, what I'm going to be talking about here is the dark side of black women. Okay. Now, there is a way to explain these things to children, but the reason why I wanted to give the disclaimer up front is because I'm going to be reading some lyrics to a very, very vulgar video music production that's been put out by a black woman by the name of Sukihana. Okay. Now, some time ago, I believe it was last year, I had mentioned how she had a little breakdown because of something was going on in the industry and she felt like she had been had or what have you. But here she is back again on the scene with something just as bad. So she is the epitome of what is going on with a lot of black women. Now, I want you to understand, I'm talking about the dark side of black women because we know that the majority of black women are not like this, but a lot of them are. Enough of them to where this needs to be talked about, especially since this Sukihana is reaching a younger audience. She's reaching young ears and eyes of parents who don't give a hoot what their children are doing. So if you have a child that is sitting up listening to Sukihana, then you have a problem too. Now, I'm not talking about a situation where the child is sneaking and you just don't know about it. They may have seen it over a friend's house or a relative's house. But I'm talking about if you know that your child is sitting up looking at Sukihana, listening to her video, singing her music, and you don't do anything, you ain't got no problems with it, you are a problem. Now, let me get into this. The dark side of black women. There are various groups of black women that exist. You have your docile group. You have your group that is very much into their children. You have your religious group. You have your paganistic groups. You have your heathenistic, sexual, promiscuous group. You have, so many different groups within every race, but specifically I'm talking about black people today. Okay? Black women. So to try to lump us all together in one category is just ridiculous. Some women would vomit. Some of us would vomit at the lifestyle that women like Sukihana lives. Couldn't even stomach it. You have those who are sneaky, who will do certain dirty things on one day, but try to clean herself up on another day. So again, so many different groups. But let me focus on the dark side of black women. This Sukihana woman. I don't even know if I want to call her a woman. I don't care if there's some offense taken to this video, because I'm coming from a standpoint of the judgment that continues to pour out in the black community, because our people do not want to hear the truth. They don't want to hear the truth that they are causing death and destruction in their youth, in our communities, in their own minds, in their spirituality. So cut off from anything that's righteous that they glorify these types of lifestyles. They glorify this stuff. The only prayer that you can pray for people like this is that they would repent. Now, I'm not saying that we don't love our people. I'm not saying that we're not supposed to love them. A lot of you get it mixed up and twisted. You think because you have a sharp rebuke for something that you've X'd out the love. I have a great deal of love for my people, to the point of tears. I cry for my people because it touches me like that. But when I see this young woman and many like her contribute to the next generation who's going to grow up and be worse. Let me get to the point now, because some of you don't like it when we prolong things and stretch it out. You want me to get down into the down and dirty. Let me read some of the lyrics to one of her songs that's called Blame Trina. I have one viewer who apparently heard me say that I was going to talk about Sukihana some time ago, and I haven't talked about her in much detail at all. So they've sent me some up-to-date information about this young woman, I guess as a nudge to go ahead and go there. And so here I am. Some of the lyrics sung, it says, in an upbeat 1960s style swing sound in the background. And let me just say this real quick, family. It's storming outside, so if you hear that, I'm going to try to talk above the sound of the thunder. Okay, but the thunder is so very appropriate for what I am talking about right now. Anyway, some of the lyrics to this song, Blame Trina, it says, I need a black ASS N-word like Kunta Kinte. I've been sucking the D since elementary. Let me stop right there. See, this is what we're talking about. We want to pretend like our young people don't know what the heck's going on in this world. Listen to these lyrics. She says she's been doing this since elementary. How was this even possible? Who was in her life? Who was she around in her life to where this was able to take place since elementary? Now, let me keep on going with the lyrics here. See, I need you all to understand. Some of you have your ears are too sensitive, but you don't understand. We have to go here and rebuke this type of behavior among our people. The problem is we sit back idly. We hear this stuff. We know it's going on. And we think we're supposed to just shut the hell up and not even address these things while pretending like we are the innocent victims of biblical circumstances. No. Everything that is happening to our people right now today, all around the world, are the results of people who refuse to step up and be the leaders, the heads, the parents, the mothers, the fathers, the elders, the overseers of our communities. You just want to say stuff like, oh, leave them alone. Let young people, let them do them. Let them grow up. Let them have their fun. All of this kind of stuff until it's time to bury them because they died an early death because of a lifestyle that was so reckless that it was warranted. Anyway, let me continue with some of these lyrics. Those of you who have soft ears, who can't handle all of this, please step away. Okay, this is for helping those who want to be helped. Those who want to understand, not saying that you yourself do these types of things, but you may have a young person in your life who needs to be sat down and taught the error of their ways, that this is pure wickedness. This is a teaching tool for those of you who want to go the extra mile and reach a young person who you are trying to put on the right path. This is not for you religious folks who think that it's all supposed to be about peaches and cream and Ruach HaKodesh and going to an assembly or a church or having a celebration or a gathering. This is not for those of you who want to keep dressing up like the best Hebrew Israelite or the best Christian or the best Muslim. You want to play religious dress up, but you don't want to address the issues in the so-called black community. If you're not one who wants to address the issues and you just want to play dress up, turn the video off. Anyway, continuing on with some of the lyrics to this song, Blame Trina. She says, F him in the mouth. Make him empty that account. Then she says, B, I need some Hennessy. Plan B and an ounce. Those are just some of the sick, demented lyrics of that song. Now, you can barely stomach, and I don't want to send any type of traffic to the video at all for those who are just curious. So I will not be providing links to the videos. The viewer who shared this with me shared the links as well. I could barely stomach this mess. But see, you have to understand, when you are called to cry aloud and spare not and lift up your voice like a trumpet in Zion, there are certain things you will have to hear. And then I have to go and pray to cleanse my mind because this stuff is so infuriating. It is so infuriating when I see these things. Like the one sister who was helping us with a project years ago. She said, Sister Deborah, I can't even watch this stuff. It was vexing her spirit that bad with all of the vulgar things that our men were saying about our women. So some of this stuff does vex you. This is one of them. This is one of those categories right here of vexation where these black women are so off the chain and vulgar that you barely even want to deal with this subject. But I want to reach those of you who want to make an impact on our young people in a positive way and let them know that this is not the right way to go. So the next song, I think, is a recent release. It looks like, I don't know when it was released, but the video that was sent to me, it looks like it came out. This video was published on January 13th of this year to the viewer who sent it to me. This one is Sukihana, All in Your Throat. So you can imagine already the direction that the video or the lyrics is going in. And this is the type of stuff that is heavily promoted in many urban areas around this country. And some of you think this crap is cute. You don't see the harm that it is doing to our young people. And it's even said that this woman has, or that she has children. She has children. Now, all that crying that she did in that video last year, I mean, what happened that you're no longer holding to that? You step right back into this filth that you call entertainment. Now, the reason why I again said that this is the dark side of black women, because we are not all this way. We are not all like this. We are not all the same, just like all black men are not the same. But back to this mess here. This is the type of filth that brings certain types of judgment in the black communities. This is why there's a perpetual weakness, promiscuity, sickness, filth, garbage that permeates throughout the minds of young black men and women. This is why you have kids, like she said, in elementary school doing all of this filthy mess. Okay. I'm going to try to get through and censor as much of this filth as I can because it is that horrible. It is that horrible, but we don't want to address these issues. We don't want to talk about it. We don't want to talk about it, but this is going to be talked about. If you can stomach it, just sit through this for a minute. Anyway, she says, B, y'all ain't talking about SHIT. You just MF cap PUSSY a N-word. Okay. Then she says, B, put that D all in your throat. This is what I'm saying, family. Look, this stuff is disgusting. We're talking about the dark side of filthy, vulgar black women. They exist. This is not all about the church women. And you know what? Let me say this real quick. You got some church women who are all into this filth right here, sitting up in the church, lost in the house. Hebrew Israelite women, all into this type of filth. Listen, religious folk, come on now. It doesn't matter how many people you can pull the wool over their eyes. At the end of the day, the Most High sees all of it. Okay, let me try to get through this mess, family. It says, F him on the yacht, F him on the boat. I ain't got a F no winter coat. Then it says B, put that D all in the throat. Okay, this is some mess. Now listen, she says my rent due N-word. Let me suck on it. Put that D in my throat. I want to lick on it. P-U-S-S-Y N-word. Throw them bands on a trill, B. Then it says big D in my stomach. I want to feel it. Then it says B. I eat C-O-C-K like a hot pocket. Listen, y'all, this is the type of stuff that some of your children are listening to. I couldn't even bear the thought. I'm so sorry, family. This is disgusting to me that our people are doing this type of stuff. We've already known it, but we don't address this stuff, and we are going from bad to worse as a people. I understand if some of you all can't listen to this because I can barely even get through it. But these are the daughters of Zion doing this filthy stuff. And because of this filth, they are surrounded by men who love this kind of stuff. And then the narrative is painted that all black women are a certain way. This woman, this group of people that she hangs out with does not define who the heck we are. This dark side of black women is the result of a demonic infiltration of the mind that has gone unchecked. People not dealing with the vulgarness, the filth that happens in the black community. We think that if we just let live, that's the stupid attitude that we have, live and let live. Let me try to get through this filth, because I need you all to understand the types of crap that's going on out here. And if you can't figure out why our communities are so messed up, then this is what's going on behind the scenes, in the scenes, in front of the scenes, all over. And you think you're not affected by this. In some form or another, you are affected. Our families are affected. You can't see the connection, but it is there. There's a perception that is out there. It's put out into the atmosphere, into the universe about our people because of people like this, because of lyrics like this, because of black women like this. There is a perception that is put out there into the universe. While we're sitting around on our high horse, not wanting to deal with these subjects, let me try to finish this mess. Okay. She says, dance on that D, pop, lock, and drop. Before a nigga F, I need a big deposit. So she's basically promoting being a whore. Okay, let me try to get through this mess. Bring that D in my cat. I want it wilding out. And eat my P-U-S-S-Y like filet mignon. I don't give a F about your baby mom. So not only is she says F that P-U-S-S-Y-A-S-S-H-O. So she's basically saying, look, I know you belong to someone else, but I'm going to give you all of this down and dirty. Bump her, your baby mom. Forget her. So she's promoting all types of stuff in these lyrics. And we sit back like this stuff is no problem in the black community. You have parents who let their daughters listen to this crap. You have black women who think it's okay for their daughters to be rolling their little behinds around while singing these lyrics. Little girls who know these lyrics. And you can't figure out why death and destruction is in the black community at an all-time high. Because the judgment of the Most High is in this place. The black community has been served notice. If you don't get yourself together, if you don't stop this foolishness, the judgment is going to be turned up so hot and heavy, unlike anything you've ever seen before. Let me continue on. Yeah, I'm the bee that be hating on. Yeah, your man be buying me that Saint Laurent. Spin it on a BITCH. Yeah, I told her y'all trick. Yeah, we sucking D. He gon' bust all on my TITS, tits. We ain't got no morals. You hear that? She's saying it in the lyrics that they have none. We some effing HOESs. And you have young women, listen, young women who are singing this mess. Oh my goodness. I remember back in the day, there was a singer, probably 30 something years ago, who they banned his lyrics because they said they were too filthy. And now I guess they realized, they said, look, we're going to help them destroy their own selves. Now, apparently whoever she had her contract with before did some stuff that brought her to her knees and she was crying. Now she's back out there with this filth all over again because they decided, the powers that be that are behind this mess, that they are going to help us to promote what's killing us. And our people are so stupid. Oh my goodness. Our people are so stupid that we just sitting back and letting this stuff happen. We have nothing to say. While we're being destroyed from within by our own young people. The young people have taken over because the old heads are sitting on their asses doing nothing. Because it's your grandchild, because it's your daughter, you don't want to speak against it because they're giving you some of the money. Back in the day, we knew of parents. When I say parents, I'm talking about mother and father in the house and their sons selling drugs. And because they were buying mommy and daddy stuff with the drug money, they had nothing to say about it. And I'm talking 30 years ago, y'all. I know it probably goes further back than that. I'm just talking about from my own knowledge of what I know, people who I know. Because the children are paying off the parents. It's hush money. That's what it's called. It's like, I'm doing this mess out here, selling drugs or whatever. And if I give you some money, mommy and daddy, will you just shut your mouth and don't say anything to me about my wickedness? That's what this all boils down to. The same with this filth right here. You have parents who know their children are in these industries doing this type of stuff, but they won't say a word because the money is too good to them. Let me go ahead and try to get through this filth. I'm going through this because I want you all to understand how bad it is out here for those of you who think life is a game. This ain't no game. Look around. Your individual lives might be okay, but look at the black community. Judgment is all up in the black community. And while we sit back on the internet and talk about this and that, all of this ignorant, frivolous, stupid stuff, religious garbage all day and all night, arguing, lying, mistreating, abusing one another, the black community is in trouble. And all you can do is sit back and twiddle your thumbs. You don't want to say one word. In some cases, you justify the madness on many levels. Not just this, but even bad, out of order children. You got people sitting up, coddling and justifying the foolishness. Let me get through this crap. Put a N-word D all between my toes. B, you know the gang. You know how it go. You know how it go. I don't eat no Wendy's. Ain't no 4 for 4. P-U-S-S-Y N-word. Take me to the Poconos and let me sit the P-U-S-S-Y on your F-U-C F-word nose. Let me sit this M-F-P-U-S-S-Y on your MF face. Do you all hear this crap? Okay. I'm almost finished. I'm not reading every word because some of it is like a chorus or a bridge or whatever, where there's a repetition of certain stupid stuff that have already been previously said. Okay. As a matter of fact, that's what the remainder of this is. Just stupid stuff. F them on the yacht and the boat and put the D all in your throat. Just different stupid stuff like that. And F that P-U-S-S-Y-H-O. Okay, I'm done with the lyrics of this filthy song. I want you all to understand something, family. We are in trouble as a people. Black women, there's a dark side to black women that is so off the chain. It is disgusting. It is disgusting. And most of us don't even want to talk about these types of women that exist in the black community. Oh, they exist. And guess what? They get men too. They get the same man who is the mirror image of them. Filthy men who loves filthy women. But it's rare that any in this group, the men or the women, marry each other. They just exploit one another's bodies for sexual pleasure. And then they put themselves out there on the forefront with the help of the powers that be, promoting music that your children listen to, are singing in the hood. The next thing you know, your little 10-year-old is singing lyrics telling you what she's been doing since elementary. And then she grows up and she becomes the mirror image of this Sukihana. Now, some of you will say that we should just go ahead and pray for these young women. The only prayer that I have for this type of vulgar young woman, I'm sorry about that. My husband was coming in the door and he saw that I was recording, so he backed out. But the only type of prayer that I have for a young woman or young women who act like this is that they repent before judgment befalls them. See, some of you want us to pray that the Most High will have mercy on them. There's no mercy without repentance. Some of you want us to pray that they do ABC, but guess what? They got to pay for what they've put out there. All of the people who have been affected by this nonsense that they have put out there, they're going to have to pay for that. They have to reap what they have sown for the mess that they've put out into the atmosphere, into the universe. They have to pay for it. So this is why it's important that when you pray, you don't pray amiss. Usually when you pray that the Most High straighten someone out, let me explain this to you. That prayer comes at a price. If you really want him to straighten them out, you think that he's just going to drop it in their mind to wake up and be a choir girl or choir boy the next day and just decide that they're going to do right. That's not how it works. Usually the Most High lays something so hard and heavy. If he's going to bring them out of this okay, he will lay something so hard and heavy on them that they will be blessed to escape with their lives. He will pour the judgment out so thick that their life, as they know it, will change. That's what prayer does. Some of y'all think prayer is just going to make smooth things over for them. No. Sometimes the Most High will allow hell and high water to come and reach a person to pull them back from the clutches of the pits of hell. That's what prayer does. Now, in the end, they're saved, right? But that's because that prayer said, look, I want them to come out of this lifestyle and want them to be all right. But it's not like you think. He's not going to say, I'm just going to pick up my beautiful, innocent Sukihana out of this lifestyle and place her into the suburbs in a good, wholesome lifestyle. That's not how it works. You will go through hell and high water to find your way back if the prayers of the righteous avail in your life. I know this because we have prayed for people in our families that the Most High have brought back from really, really tough situations. We've prayed for friends, and sometimes those prayers, like we shared a testimony, a friend of ours that we knew in Detroit, he would pray for his brother who had a rough drug dealing lifestyle, thugged out lifestyle, and he prayed and prayed and prayed for his brother. What ended up happening to his brother is that his brother got shot several times, ended up in the hospital. One bullet went in his head, the rest in various places throughout his body. He was messed up so bad, but his life was spared. And his brother asked us, why did the Most High have to be so harsh in how he dealt with them? But you have to understand, his prayers kept that boy alive. Yes, he was shot, he was messed up, shot several times. But the prayers is what kept him from dying in his sins. He lived to tell the story. There's another young man that I remember when I was a teenager. His mom would take him from place to place with his testimony. We saw the aftermath of him being shot in the head several times. Half of his head was gone, including the brain. You could see the actual indentation of where his brain was literally shot out of his head. He lived to tell the story because he had a praying mama. Y'all hear what I'm saying? Do you understand? That's the difference that prayer makes. So when you pray for people, you have to pray for their repentance, because they're not going to get, your prayers is not going to allow them to continue in that lifestyle and you just give them a safety blanket of prayer. That's not how it works. I know I've said a lot, but I wanted you all to understand the dark side of black women. There are some black women that are so filthy and detestable, but they do not define all of us. And how dare some of you men imply that they do, because it is not the truth. Just like every low down, rotten, dirty, brute beast man does not define who all of our men are. I'm done with this video. Of course, you all know that I could say so much more. I was just terribly disgusted by this. Could barely get through the lyrics. This has got to be dealt with and talked about. I encourage more of you to talk about this filth, but with balance. Do it with balance. This is not all of us. The problem with a lot of our people is we don't do things with balance. And you make it seem like every black woman is this way, and this is why you go to a Becky. When some of y'all know good and doggone well the reason why you went to a Becky in the first place is because Becky was a super freak. Okay? And the reason why a lot of black women have become this, because black women were not always like this, is because they know that this is what their man or their men desires. And so they want to try to outdo Becky. We've talked about this before, and some of you know it's the truth. I remember there was a documentary where they were talking about how white women plan sex trips to certain regions of the world so that they can come and get them a big black buck. Some of them are married too. But they come and pay for sex from black men. And the black men down in the islands, their excuse was the black women are like Old Testament women. Just on their back, just Old Testament type women. Now, in a sense, that's a compliment, but it's meant as an insult. What they're saying is that Becky is going to do all kinds of stuff for me that this black woman ain't going to do. So that's why I'm crossing over. But I'm not trying to go off into that direction. I wanted this video to be more so about black women. I mentioned that so you can understand that a lot of black women go in this direction because they're trying to please some filthy, nasty black man. It cuts both ways, y'all. Whether you want to hear it or not, it is what it is. I'm done with this filthy subject. The dark side of black women, it exists. It is out there. It is what it is, and we have got to repent of this mess, or the judgment of the Most High Yah will continue to pound down on the black community, and it will not depart until its job is done, because judgment begins with the house of Yah.